Hey guys, PepperAmmy here, and this week we are making naan bread. Now there are many different ways to make naan bread and many ways to flavour it. The traditional way is sadly something I can't do today, so a frying pan will have to do. Now as always, with most of my other videos, there will be a full list of the ingredients in the description below. For this recipe you will need 7 grams of dry yeast, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 125 ml of warm water, 300 grams of white flour. Now depending on the type of flour you use, you may need some extra. Half a teaspoon of baking powder, 25 grams of melted butter or ghee, and then plus some extra for brushing later on. 150 ml of plain natural yogurt, and 1 tablespoon of nigella seeds. Now if you can't find them, it is completely fine to leave them out. And then additionally, I'm adding in some mango curry powder. Now this is going to give a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of fruitiness from the mango flavouring, and it's going to give an amazing colour to the naan breads from the curry powder itself. Now as always with a bread, you want to start by blooming your yeast in a smaller bowl with the warm water and half the sugar. Now this is simply to make sure that the yeast is still active. Now while the yeast is blooming, add all of your dry ingredients to a large bowl and just give a good mix. And then check on your yeast. Now for me personally, it was rather warm today, so it bloomed in a matter of minutes, but this could take 10 to 15 minutes if it is slightly colder. Once bloomed, make a well in the middle of your dry ingredients, pour in your yeast, your yogurt and your melted butter. Then grab your smallest whisk, mix together, realize mistakes were made, give up with the whisk, and then use your hands as it's much easier. Once you have formed a dough-like mix that holds together, remove from the bowl and knead. Now the flour I'm using left the dough quite wet, so I simply just added on a bit more flour as I was kneading until the dough became slightly drier. And then you just want to keep on kneading until the dough becomes nice and smooth. Now as a bonus tip, if your dough is a bit wet and it keeps on sticking to your hands, simply put some olive oil or just cooking oil on your hands. This makes a nice non-stick coating on your hands and makes it a lot easier to knead the dough, and also prevents the dough sticking to you. Then once you are done kneading, form the dough into a ball, oil a bowl, and then place the dough in the bowl and give the dough a quick coating of the oil, cover and let proof for around an hour or until doubled in size. Now you want to keep an eye on the size rather than the time. As I said earlier, it was quite a hot day for me and I'm using a metal bowl, so my dough slightly overproofed, which meant it more than doubled in size. Now that doesn't matter too much as we were fully deflating this dough anyway. Now you can just punch it down like I have done before, or if you have a child's brain like me, just gently touch the dough and get slightly hypnotized, watching it slowly deflate and collapse back down in on itself. And then shape into a ball or a log, whatever you find easier, and divide into 4 to 6 equal-ish pieces, and then shape into balls once again. Now if you do have a big tandoor just lying around somewhere, fire that big boy up and let it get nice and hot. Or if you are like me, simply just heat a frying pan over medium-high heat with no oil in the pan, as we want to dry cook these. Now the shape you are roughly aiming for as you are rolling these out is teardrop, but if you're like me, you're not very good at rolling stuff into shape, so my first one turned out to be square. But for the rest, I just kind of winged it, and it actually started to, after the second one, started to actually form into the shape I was kind of after anyway. Now you only want to roll these out one at a time, so you want to roll, cook, roll, cook, roll, cook. And you want to cover the dough when it's not being used so it doesn't dry out, as today was quite hot and my dough was even rising as it was just shaped into the balls on the counter. Now once you have your first naan bread rolled out and shaped, like crumpets and pancakes, it's kind of going to be sacrificial, so the shape doesn't matter too much, but this is going to help you fine tune your temperature. Now you just want to carefully place it into the pan until the bubbles start to appear on the surface and the bottom is nicely browned but not black. Now once your naan bread is browned on the bottom, you want to flip it over. Now the bubbles are going to brown much quicker as the dough is the thinnest there. So keep an eye out that it doesn't burn and you will end up with those nice characteristic dark spots on the top of your naan bread. Now once it is fully cooked, simply remove it from the pan, add it to an oven on a very low temperature just to keep it warm, and roll out and start cooking your second one. Now from the second one it gets a bit easier because you're kind of used to it, you've got the temperature sorted hopefully, and you've got your cooking times kind of worked out a little bit better. Now once you have cooked all of your naan breads, remove from the oven and brush down, or if you, like me, completely lost your brush and have absolutely no idea where it went, you can use some clean tissue paper and then just dip that in some melted butter or ghee and then brush down your naan breads and then serve. Now this is a really fun and simple bread to make, and you can easily experiment with many different flavors by simply adding curry powders, extra flavorings, even adding some mango chutney if you wish for a slightly sweeter taste and some small mango chunks. And then of course you can use flavoured butters as well, just to coat the naan bread with at the end. And that's the end of this week's video. Now if you guys have enjoyed, let me know with a like and comment down below. If you are new here, feel free to subscribe. I'm honestly blown away with how fast and how well the channel is growing at the moment, and I really appreciate the support I've been getting. And I will see you all again next week. Thanks for watching.